A lot of agents put off switching brokerages longer than they should have. And when they finally get around to doing it, they realize that all the fears and things that they were contemplating that were going to be harder struggles wasn't even that bad. So today, hopefully, I want to save you the time. And we're going to go through all the things or all the struggles or all the biggest fears that agents have when switching from one brokerage to another, and then go through stuff that nobody really talks about or thinks about when switching brokerages that you definitely have to know. So first, let's go ahead and cover the worries and fears. So one of the ones that I hear all the time is that right now is not a good time. I'm super busy. Maybe in 6 months, I've planned for this next quarter that it's going to be super big. I just can't do it. I don't have time. And that could absolutely be fair. I know as our team, we have, over 20 listings, and we have buyers doing this, and we have, team agents doing that. There is never a good time. If you look at your business in the last 3 years, if there was a time that you were doing nothing for 3 months, that's probably not a good part in your business. But more often than not, there is never going to be a perfect time to have things switched over. If you're having a little bit of a lull, it's a great time to switch over. But like when we switched our brokerage from one to the other, it wasn't a perfect time, but for me and my personality, I was like, you know what? I saw the model, I saw Real Broker, I saw what worked for us. We need to be over there because it's going to help our business grow with efficiency and the systems and the support that we need. Let's just go ahead and do it. We waited, I think, about 2 or 3 weeks to get a couple things closed out. And then we made the switch. But guess what? Even when we waited to get those things closed out, we got other things on the contract. So even when you think, okay, in 3 months, I have these listings coming up, they're all going to be closed, it would be the perfect time. Your business is going to grow, and your business is also going to generate more leads, and they're going to generate more contracts during that time period, and you're going to be in the same position you are. So if you found a brokerage that you love, that you want to be part of, whether that's the systems, the technology, the culture, the support, just make the switch. Maybe take a week or two to get things ready and get things going, but just make the switch because there's never a perfect time. Another question I get is, what's going to happen with my current listings that I have under escrow or have under contract? What's going to happen when I make the switch? Something that you have to ask agents that were part of your brokerage that went somewhere else that you're maybe friends with. What happened when you talk to the broker? Are they going to ask you to take all your listings and all your things under contract to your next brokerage and ask for a referral fee? Or are they going to make you close things out at your current brokerage, but everything else moving forward, you can start at your other brokerage? Now, this is something you have to know. For us personally, when we left eXp to Real Broker, what they made us do is everything that was under contract, they basically said, send it to Real and we will take a referral fee. Now, that wasn't super beneficial, but the good thing is that when we went to Real, we told them the situation that actually let us close some things out for free with Real so that we didn't have to pay a referral fee to eXp and also pay the Real Broker an additional fee, an additional split. So that was awesome of them. They had no reason to do so, and that just made the transition even better and lighter for us. But you have to know your options and all your deals and what's going on. And yes, it's going to be a financial number as well. Maybe you do have to close out these 10 that you have under contract so that when you only have 1 or 2, that's when you can make the switch. Another thing is that I'm not tech savvy, right? So a lot of people, when they move over to Real Broker, especially, there's a really nice technology systems and backend that goes with Real Broker. If you haven't seen any of their systems, go ahead and check out my other videos, or just go ahead and go on YouTube and just say, Real Broker technology, and you'll see all of the amazing things that Real Broker has. But when I talk to people, they say, I'm not technology inclined, I'm really bad with, apps and this and that. And I have a business partner who's not technology inclined. I'm definitely the one that's more tech savvy. But what I will say is that there is a ton of free training teaching you step by step. When we moved over to Real Broker, we actually got on a Zoom call with somebody that walked us through every single thing on the technology, on the Reason app. And they went through everything step by step and showed us everything. Of course, we didn't learn things like that. And we had questions as we switched over. Hey, I forgot what you said. What do we need to do here? They'll actually do a screen recording and answer your questions that way so that you can have an example of how to do things. From my experience, they've been super helpful in helping us transition everything, and the technology is very intuitive. It's not super complicated. Everything should be where it is, and there's a bunch of videos and trainings online that you can access. So you don't have to be tech savvy. Even if it's not Real Broker or any other brokerages, there's definitely other CRM and there's other platforms that you have to learn. So don't let the fear of having to learn something keep you at your current brokerage if you already realized that you shouldn't be there and you need to be somewhere else. Another thing I hear a lot, and especially with team leaders, moving my team is too complicated. And trust me, I understand. We don't have a huge team. We have a team of about 4 agents, so it's not massive, but it's it's a good sized team and we do a good amount of volume a year. So I understand you're going to have to change your signs and your branding. That is something that we're still working through. We've been here about a month and a half to 2 months. We've gotten stickers for our signs, and that's what we're doing until the end of the month. And then we're gonna start buying new signs with the real logo and branding. Another thing is, the small stuff like business cards and email signatures and all the things that you have to switch over with where you're at to the new broker. And I know that it seems very daunting, but Real has something called Pro Teams, which was a platform that I had no idea about, and you get a whole dedicated team helping you transfer everything from your team, setting everything up. So for us, it was an amazing transition going from EXP to Real Broker because we had people holding our hand, we had people guiding us and helping us along the way. Now, if you're going to a different brokerage, maybe they have something specific for teams that, if you're switching from, just pick 2 random brokerages, either from, Keller Williams to EXP or EXP to Compass or Compass to Berkshire, and you're a team and you do a lot of transactions, more often than not, they are going to have people holding your hand. They're going to have people guiding you through the process. So don't think that, oh, I'm a huge team, I can never switch because things are expensive, I have to change my marketing. But in reality, it's more manageable than you think. And if you do have a team and you're thinking about switching to a brokerage, definitely check out Real, because just Google Pro Teams or look up videos on Pro Teams specifically. You can even go on my channel, I have videos about that. And having a team at Real is awesome. Everything's on one platform. You have dedicated people that are helping you specifically. Need to make a change, it's as easy as clicking a couple buttons, and it's great to have a team at Real because you can run the team how you see fit. And then the last one, like I've already kind of discussed with the teams, you have to rebrand everything, and that is a cost that you're going to have to take. Now, what is the bigger cost? Staying where you're at and not growing, or getting the support, or getting whatever it is that made you join that company and you've seen that you've outgrown that, or the cost, a couple $100s or a couple $1,000s, depending on how big you are, how many signs you have, to just switch your branding to a different brokerage. In my opinion, the cost of staying somewhere is going to be way bigger in the long run, and as opposed to just making the switch, eating the couple $100s to couple $1,000s to switching over the branding to that new broker. If you can grow your brand, if you're going to get the support, the technology and leads, or whatever it is that you are going to get there that you think you're going to elevate your brand. Because of course, when you're switching brokerages, you should never switch a brokerage just to switch. You should switch a brokerage if it's going to elevate your business, if it's going to help you grow your business. You should never switch from here to there unless this broker is going out of business. Switch somewhere that's going to help you grow and make you more money, so that cost in the marketing expense that you're going to have to switch over is still worth it. Those were the main fears and worries that people have. I've helped a ton of people switch over to Real Broker, and they think that it's this big daunting thing that takes forever, but it's really not that bad. And I've actually talked to a couple people that came over the last week, and they said, it kind of sucked a little bit. Of course it is. You're going to switch from one broker to the other, but they were like, it's not that bad, and I'm already ready to go, and I'm set to start moving my business forward. Now, talking about a couple things that people don't consider when switching brokerages, the very first thing is that before you talk to your broker about, hey, I'm thinking about leaving, whatever system you have with that brokerage, whether that's KW, EXP, Real, whatever broker, make sure you download all your contacts. Make sure you download whatever emails or documents you need in their system before you talk to anybody. I can't tell you how many times or how many friends have talked to brokerages, I'm thinking about switching this or that, and they thought they were going to have time to go into the system and download things or see some documents that they still needed, but they will close you out of their system ASAP. As soon as you tell them and they walk out of there, they're going to go to their desktop or they're going to call the IT and be like, hey, this person's out. Shut their profile down, and you will get zero access to anything. And you can't call and be like, hey, all my leads that I had inputted, they're going to be like, sorry, you're not part of us. You can't get access to anything anymore. I have personally never had a conversation where they went back to the broker and be like, hey, I still need to get, my documents and stuff downloaded where they had access to it. So please, 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 if you get nothing else from this video, go to your system, download documents, download contacts. I've even heard stories of people putting in their whole database into whatever system that they were using. And as soon as they left that brokerage or told the broker, hey, I'm leaving, they took them out of there and took their whole database and spread out their leads to everybody in the brokerage. So be very careful of where you're storing your things. I always tell people, get your own email, get your own, .looper type of software where you have your own documents, have everything yours, because you never know when you're going to go to this brokerage or that brokerage, and you never want people to hold your stuff hostage. So before you talk to your broker, make sure you download your things. Another thing people don't consider is that you have to upload basically everything everywhere. Your seller's seller's guide, your buyer's guide, maybe for out of town, buyer's guide or travel guide. Whatever you do or whatever type of marketing you do, you're gonna have to change your, not your specific brand, but your brokerage. And that's something that's an added cost that sometimes people don't take into account. Another thing too is the timeline. So depending on what state you are, for example, we are in Tennessee, but we're right at the Tennessee and Georgia border. So we are basically licensed in the state of Tennessee and Georgia. And there's a big difference in when we switch from EXP to Real Broker. In the state of Tennessee, we had to do some paperwork with the Tennessee real estate commissions, whereas in Georgia we had to do zero paperwork and it was really just an email and they switch you right away, whereas Tennessee might take 24 to 48 hours. So know as well, if you have a buyer that's wanting to put in a contract, when you need to make that switch, because it might take a couple days and then you're kind of in limbo land needing to write a contract, but at the same time you can't. And lastly, one of the things people think is that you need, to take out 2, 3, maybe even a week out of work to manage all these things when you need to switch from one brokerage to the next. And honestly, it's really just half a day would be a little bit too little, but you need one full day to just sit down and get everything done, especially if you're in those states where everything can be electronic. It's just emails here and there and you can get switched over. It's really just one day of like, okay, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to go through the paperwork, I'm going to sign all these disclosures, I'm going to sign the new ICA, I'm going to talk to this broker, I'm going to talk to that broker, I'm going to get things switched over. Okay, now I'm switched over, I need to redo the branding, I need to redo my email signatures, and it's really all you need. People think that you need a lot more time, and you can do this in usually one day. Now, this day would probably be hectic because you have deals going on, you have people calling you, maybe you have a business partner and the business partner can take care of the deals while you take care of the transfer, which is what we did. But if you can't, just take out a day or two max and get it done. It's really not that bad. Again, going back to, if you found that where you're at, you're stale, there's really not much going for you, or they promised you something that's not there, look to a different brokerage. And I would highly suggest you look at Real Broker. I was with a different cloud-based brokerage for 5 years, and it got to the point that it's like I was comfortable. I didn't need to move until I found what Real Broker has, and the technology and the support and the systems and the culture here is absolutely amazing. If you guys are looking into Real Broker, you can schedule a Zoom call with me down in the description, or just find me on social media. I would love to help answer your questions. Or if you're looking to just get some guidance, hey, I'm at X brokerage and I want to go to this brokerage, what should I ask my broker? What are some things I should consider? Reach out to me. I would love to help you guys out. I hope you were able to get some value from this video, and hopefully you can do a lot of the things I said so that you can get ready before you move brokerages. Until next time, take care and God bless.